I've been designing and selling my own greeting cards online and at in-person markets for a little while now. So in today's video, I thought I'd share my process for how I design, print, and package my greeting cards at home. I start out with my iPad in the app Procreate. With the color mode set to CMYK, I use a canvas that is 8.5 by 11 inches with the DPI set to at least 300, or in this case 400, to ensure a high quality print. My cards measure 4.25 by 5.5 inches once they're cut and folded, so by designing them on a canvas that's 8.5 by 11, I'm able to proportionally scale them down to half of the length and width that I originally started with. I like to start by sketching out my design very loosely and then further refine it to a more polished sketch that I will lower the opacity for and then work directly on top of. Once I have some sort of a color palette picked out, I can begin the final design. When I make the final art, I will typically use a modified version of the monoline brush or the 6B pencil, making sure to fill in all the elements with their respective colors. I really like to take my time designing, not being afraid to play around with different colors from what I initially started with, while still remaining true to the final sketch. For example, I changed up the color of these leaves several times before finally deciding on a color that I really liked. So even though I've chosen a color palette, if a certain color isn't working as I move toward a more finished state, I allow for any color changes I deem necessary. Now, I have always loved greeting cards. I think they can hold a lot of sentimental value, so I want my cards to be something the recipient holds onto for years to come. I keep that in mind as I choose my colors, text, and layouts. I want each card to be eye-catching and something people will want to keep after they receive it. I have held on to several of the cards I've received over the years, each one capturing a moment in time, like my 8th birthday party when I had a bunch of friends over for a sleepover. Now, I started this journey a little over a year ago when I knew I wanted to try and sell my art in some capacity, but art prints just didn't feel like something I wanted to jump into right from the start, and things like stickers weren't really at the forefront of my mind. I personally have always loved receiving greeting cards, so I figured, why don't I design my own cards to sell? This way, my art is on a product that can easily be shared, and it's a relatively low-cost way to get started selling products within my business. As I design each card, I'm always going back and forth between minimal and more detailed designs. This berry card is pretty detailed with several layers making up the whole design and the fun hand lettering in the center. You can see on my website that I have a variety of more and less detailed cards, making the collection of cards a little more interesting. Once I'm finished designing, I'll zoom into the card, ensuring there aren't any stray marks or tangents that I hadn't noticed before. And once I'm happy with the way everything is looking, I export it as a PNG to my files. I like to do a test print on a sheet of the same paper the cards will eventually be printed on. This way I can see how accurate my colors are as they transition from my screen to the final printed version. After doing my test print, I can see that the berry and thankful cards look great, but there are some adjustments I want to make to the other 3 designs, so I'll go back, tweak those, and export them again as PNGs. I'll then open everything up on my laptop in Photoshop. Within this file, I have the back of the card ready to go and a cut line in place to cut the cards in half once they're printed. I'll simply import the latest design, scale it down to the correct size, and then do a little adjusting if needed. I'll then make a copy of the correctly sized design, allowing for 2 cards to be printed on 1 sheet of paper. Once I'm happy with how the final file is looking, I'll export it as another PNG to a folder on my desktop. I grab my matte paper that I buy from Red River Paper, and I'll go over to my printer. I'm using the Epson EcoTank for now, and I think it's a great little machine for printing relatively small cards while maintaining the high quality resolution. I'll remove the traditional printer paper from the tray, replace it with my Red River paper, and change the paper type to Premium Matte. Back to my laptop, I make sure print and color is toggled on. Since this design stretches all the way to the edges, I ensure to use this drop-down menu to select US letter borderless for paper size. If the card doesn't go to the edges, I'll use the standard US letter setting. In the Media and Quality section, I make sure Media is set to Photo Matte Paper to match my printer settings, and Quality is set to Best. I am now ready to print. These print settings work best for me, and my designs always come out looking just as vibrant as they did on screen, and the quality of my art turns out great. Once all the pages have been printed, I'll bring them back to my desk. To score each page, I use a ruler and pencil to measure the width of the card. I mark it off at the exact middle, 4¼ inches. This way I know where to make my score line, and then I'm ready to go. I'll grab my Westcott cutting and scoring board, and using the scoring glider, I'll go over the page twice to get a nice score line in the paper. I prefer to score my cards first, that way I ensure that both cards printed are perfectly scored down the middle. I'll then head over to my swing line paper trimmer, and using my cut line as a reference, I can easily cut the paper, creating 2 cards from one sheet. Since I've already scored the cards, I can then fold each one evenly, and just like that, I have a greeting card. For art markets and the sale of individual cards, I package each of them in their own protective sleeve with an envelope, both from clearbags.com. When I fulfill larger orders, multiple cards and envelopes can fit in one bag and then be sent out in a rigid mailer. This is one of my favorite parts of the entire process, especially when I am preparing for an art market like I am here, because it's just card after card and I can get into a rhythm while preparing all of them. One little tip I have is to make sure the envelope is tucked into the card before placing them both into the sleeve. That way the back of the card shows, and if someone were, say, viewing my card at an art market, they would be able to see what the back looks like as well. Here is how all of the designs I worked on throughout this video turned out. I think they look great, and I could not be any happier with how they came out. Also, I recently redesigned the back of my cards, and I love this so much. I think it looks a lot more official and professional and complete compared to my old ones. I really do enjoy the whole process of making my greeting cards. I think it can be pretty easygoing and fun once you kind of get into a groove and have a new idea to design, print, and pack up. I love that I now have a relatively easy way to get my art out there into the world without it costing an arm and a leg. Pretty soon, like really soon, I think I will expand into other forms of stationery like notepads and stickers and bookmarks. But for now, I'm pretty content with greeting cards. I'd say I've got my whole greeting card process figured out, so I hope you found this video helpful and you've been able to learn a thing or two about making your own cards at home. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!